Ladies and gentlemen, Congressman Xavier Becerra.
Good morning. Wait a minute, we're acting like we're old. Good morning.
Good morning.
There we go, there we go. I want to say first to Barbara and all the team at ARA, thank you so much for over the years being the voice not just of seniors, not just of folks who are retired, but for Americans throughout this country who remember that the New Deal was everyone's deal. And so thank you for reminding some who have forgotten that. I want to first recognize someone who I think deserves so much credit for what you stand for, but for what America stands for. You're going to honor someone in just a little while who has fought harder than any American I know over the last several years to lead this country forward, recognizing the dignity and honor that comes from work and the respect that comes when you pay for what you earn. And that person is our leader in the House Democratic Caucus, Nancy Pelosi. Now, I say that because there has been no one who has fought harder to defend the programs that you paid for, whether it's Social Security or Medicare or Medicaid, than Nancy Pelosi. There was no one who fought harder for a health reform, an historic health reform, than Nancy Pelosi. There was no one who fought harder to make sure in that health reform seniors would be able to get their preventative care with zero copay. There was no one who fought harder in health care reform than Nancy Pelosi to make sure that dreaded donut hole in the prescription drug benefit under Medicare would be erased completely. And there was no one in America who fought harder than Nancy Pelosi to make it clear that these are not handouts. This is not welfare. These are things that Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and I always include Eleanor Roosevelt, made sure that the country fought for in the 1930s when we saw people retiring into poverty. And so Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid are due in part to people like Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt, but also today for the champions of those programs like Nancy Pelosi, someone you will honor today. So give it up for Nancy Pelosi, who will be here shortly. Now, she's also my boss, so it's nice to say a few good things about your boss every once in a while, right? But she happens to be a great boss, a great boss. And every once in a while, your boss does some things that you wonder whether it was good or bad. When she appointed 3 of us to serve on this joint select committee of 12 to try to help some decisions about where this country will go. But I will tell you this, I look forward to the challenge. I think it's great that we have an opportunity to put before the American public, with the sun shining down, where we are, how we got here, and where we go from here. Because there's some people who want to tell you that you're the problem. See, you happen to keep growing up. How dare you pay into the system and then decide to retire and now want to collect Social Security after paying for it? How dare you, for years, work hard, have that FICA tax deduction that goes to Medicare, and how dare you now want to collect Medicare? How dare you pay your taxes and now think that you should be able to benefit from the services that you paid for in Medicaid? How dare you? That's what some people are telling you. Well, how dare they say to the American people that when we work so hard to build something that they want to tear it down? It's time for us to elevate what has made America strong, not gut it. And that's why I think you are here, to help us fight for the things that have built America and made it strong. No longer do 3 out of every 4 seniors in America retire in poverty. as we saw back in the 1930s. Today, less than 9% of Americans who are seniors retire into poverty. Still 9% too many, but by far nowhere near where we were back in the 1930s. But it's up to us. It's up to us. Some people will say Social Security benefits for seniors should be cut to help pay for deficits and this national debt of over $14.5 trillion. Yeah. What they forget is that Social Security never contributed one single penny to this deficit or any of the national debt. And so some of us who are on this select committee have a task. I have to go in open-minded, not having any preconditions about what I will and will not support, because I have to be prepared to consider everything to be fair to the American public. But that doesn't mean I have to take off the gloves and not fight. That means I get to still go into the ring and fight for the things I believe in. And someone has to prove to me why a program that has not only funded itself completely, but has created a surplus at a time of deficits, has created a surplus of over $2.6 trillion, should now be asked to suffer cuts to benefits to seniors because of deficits caused by other things like wars in Iraq and Afghanistan and tax cuts to millionaires and billionaires. So I ask you, are you ready to do some work? Now, some people would say, wait a minute, the Alliance for Retired Americans, it's 8 o'clock and you're up already, ready to work? Wait a minute, there's something wrong with that definition. See, what they're forgetting is that you may have retired into dignity for all the years you gave America, but you're not finished. You got many good years ahead of you, and this country will benefit from them. And so what I say to you is, tell me if my fellow brothers and sisters from Los Angeles are in the room. Is Los Angeles in the house? Is California in the house? Is the South in the house? We got any Northerners in the house? There we go. Do we have Middle America in the house? That's right. Well, this is what I will say to all of my fellow Americans. Many of you could tell the stories of what it was like when times were tough and we fell not into recession but depression. Many of you can tell the stories of what it meant to not have a pension or a savings or anything else that you could rely on in your final years. And many of us can also tell the story of what it's meant to be able to retire in dignity and know that you can leave something for your kids and grandkids into the future to make their opportunities when they reach their senior years even more golden than yours and mine. And so I say to you today, if you are ready once again to work, to put on whatever uniform it was that you used to wear, and tell the American public through its representatives in the House of Representatives and in the U.S. Senate that you are ready to fight for the things that gave you a chance to live in dignity, then I got a message to send to a lot of my colleagues. Social Security will be strengthened. Medicare will be strengthened. Medicaid will be strengthened. And as a result, America will be strengthened into the future. So you fight, you work, and know that there are many of us standing right next to you, shoulder to shoulder, ready to do the work of this country because too many people taught us the right way. It's time for us to prove to our children that we know how to do it the right way, just the way you have done it for so many years. Thank you so much. Barbara, keep these folks working hard. We will be there with you to work as hard as you do. Thank you so much.